All right, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Crypto Wolf here, back for another quick little video. And I wanted to make this one real quick just about a certain evening news host who has been promoting Bitcoin quite a bit lately, honestly. Like, seems like at the very least, mentioning it like every day this week, and has actually done two whole segments about it. And not necessarily even about, making money off it or what the price is, but like about its fundamental purpose. And I think this is a great opportunity to, sort of some red pill, some normies into crypto a little bit, because I mean, face it, millions of people watch this show. So regardless of whether or not you align with this person politically or any of that stuff, as far as the crypto space just in itself goes, and really, I mean, even just, the liberty side of it and financial freedom, I think this is a really good thing. If you don't know who it is yet, it's Tucker Carlson. His show, Tucker Carlson Tonight, #1 evening TV news show by a huge margin. So it's reaching the biggest audience, that something like that can. And then add to that, we got Super Bowl commercials coming up, obviously, like crypto.com and Gemini have been blasting all over YouTube ads. But I'll show you the video here real quick. I don't know if this is gonna do me any favors with YouTube, but whatever. If they throw ads on it, they throw ads on it. I'm only playing like a few minutes here, and then I got two little clips, but let's get into it, and here you go.
So the administration reportedly plans to unveil an executive order that would detail, quote, economic, regulatory, and national security challenges posed by cryptocurrencies. This comes after Hillary Clinton declared that cryptocurrencies undermine the US dollar, not the recklessness of our leaders. That has nothing to do with the falling value of the dollar, but Bitcoin is the real problem. Actually, Bitcoin is a reaction to the reckless behavior of the central banks, of course. But the question is, would cracking down on Bitcoin create an opening for the broad adoption of the Chinese Communist Party's digital currency? Ryan Selkis is the founder of Vasari Crypto. He thinks that's possible. He joins us tonight. Ryan, thanks so much for coming on. It's a very interesting topic, and I wish we had more time. But boil it down for us. What do you think this is really about?
Well, thanks, Tucker. First, we have to talk about what crypto actually is, because it's confusing for a lot of people. It's a new technology. And let's start out with Bitcoin. It's a payment.
Let me mute this. So real quick here, I'm just jumping in just to hopefully break up this clip, and in the interest that YouTube doesn't try to get rid of this video or anything like that for copyright strikes. But even just that opening segment, he said a lot, whether it be between, the establishment people feeling threatened by it, or the situation between, the West and China, or everybody in China. Let's be real. I know. Hey, shout out to, dude from India watching. God knows we know that you guys have had some issues with China lately. Jeez. But, here he's about to get into just a little, probably one of the better and quicker basic descriptions of crypto that I've ever seen. So let me get back to it here.
System. You can send money to anyone, anywhere around the globe. And it's as easy as sending an email. Bitcoins themselves are fixed supply, so they're kind of like digital gold. And that's one of the reasons they've performed so well over the course of the last 10 years, really. What we've learned more recently is that all of these technologies can underpin other applications as well. So decentralized finance can be an alternative to Wall Street. Crypto media can help with censorship. And collectively, this industry is the fastest growing sector of tech since the internet itself. Not everybody likes that, as you can imagine. This isn't good for big government. It's not good for big banks. It's not good for big tech. And this technology provides a check on all three. The CCP actually banned this tech. And unfortunately, they rolled out a centralized version of their own. Our policymakers are starting to trend in the direction of the CCP, which we're obviously trying to prevent at the industry level. But it could be pretty dicey the next few months, as you noted.
So cryptocurrency, what a nice description that was. Thank you. Cryptocurrency essentially poses an existential threat to the hegemony of the Davos class, the reckless people who've wrecked everything. They're threatened by this because it promises independence to average people. Is there anything they can really do about it, do you think, in real life?
Well, let's talk about the Biden administration's financial regulators. They talk a lot about protecting Americans from crypto. The reality is this is about control, because if you look at the state of the crypto economy right now, there was more crypto transactions processed last year than Visa processed. The crypto economy in the private sector and all the innovation that you've seen in the last couple of years, just doing fine. And instead, this Treasury Department in particular wants to take a page out of the CCP's playbook and instead create a top-down surveillance system and Federal Reserve-backed coin versus working with industry to create a regulatory framework that makes sense. Essentially, we're going to squander a lead and delegate authority to the same people that built healthcare.gov a few years ago. They're not the only financial regulators that are on the wrong side of this. The SEC chair has been trying to, quote unquote, protect investors from what is the highest performing asset class, maybe in history, but certainly in the last 10 years. And I'm just thankful that my 90-year-old grandfather was able to buy Bitcoin in 2014 before he could be protected from a 50 times return on his capital and a 20% decline in the dollar thanks to inflation.
So nicely put. The people who built healthcare.gov. But just super quick in 2 sentences, since this is all based on the blockchain, which I think is impregnable to their efforts, right? They can't really do anything, can they? Or can they?
Well, they can certainly make life difficult. And this is actually what the new organization that I founded, the Digital Freedom Alliance, is all about. We're trying to work for pro-crypto.
All right, I'll kind of leave that one there for a moment. But, I think if you're watching that, you can agree that that was a fairly good description, particularly for people who, maybe know nothing about it, who, haven't been involved in it, obviously aren't getting as deep as we are, because if you're watching this channel, it's largely based on trading, which is, a whole nother animal in itself. But as far as the fundamentals go of what crypto is, what it could be, what it's for, I think he did a very good job. And I think the fact that they focused on that particular part, of the description of it, it couldn't have been, I couldn't ask for more, that was perfect. Because, the gains and the profit and money and all that stuff. Yeah, it's why we're here. It's why we're doing it. It's why most people are doing it. It's why the government starts to get mad about it. But fundamentally, even if you took that away, even if everything became a stable coin and never really did much of anything, there is still the utility to it. And I think that is probably one of the most important aspects of it. Now, got another little short clip, and it's a very good example, a real world scenario of why crypto is so important. And I'll play that one again here once the wolf stops howling back there. All right, here we go.
Food, accommodations, and shuttle services for truck drivers in Ottawa. But all of that money has just been stolen by the Canadian government. It's been seized. All of this is pushing people away from government-issued currencies because they're in control of lunatics like the guy you just saw, and they're moving toward cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Just like 18-wheelers on bridges, blockchain is pretty tough for the authorities to control. Therefore, here's how you know it's a threat. The crypto guys must be white supremacists. And lo and behold, that's exactly what they're now telling us.
It's an avenue not just to make a lot of money or lose a lot of money, but it's also an avenue for money laundering, and it's also a place where white supremacists apparently are taking options. I mean, it's problematic.
This guy looks super enthusiastic about being here for that segment.
Best in so many ways.
It's problematic at best. How do people like that get on television? There should be an IQ requirement. But by putting dumb people in the anchor chair, they're perfectly compliant to the people in charge. Crypto is white supremacy. But the hysteria gives them away. As a trucker called Danielle Searle explained in Ottawa last night, these people are terrified. They're afraid of losing control. The blockade of the Windsor Bridge, panic.
I mean, is that not the truth or what? That is what it all boils down to, is they're afraid of losing control. And, whether it be in the sense of crypto, whether it be in the sense of, the other authoritarian things they got going on right now, that is kind of the key point right there, is control. Regardless of where you think that goes up to, whether it just be government or whether it go, be this international banking consortium, which is not a conspiracy theory. I mean, the IMF and World Bank exist. Just saying, before you start getting mad at me here. And obviously, these various groups are very protective of the system that they've built. And just like David Rockefeller said, or not David Rockefeller, his dad said, competition is a sin. And this is essentially the most flagrant and insulting form of competition to them. Because it's not just another bank. It's not just another currency or potential world reserve currency. It is an alternate system that doesn't need them. Like it, aside from, the bottlenecks with the on-ramps and regulation and stuff, crypto's still in its infancy. I think it is definitely something that we can overcome given enough time, enough motivation and innovation, because, things do go a direction where, you're forced to these exchanges and you lose that financial freedom aspect of it. I think other things will come into development. Other platforms will rise up, and I'm bullish on it, especially long term. Honestly, like he said, I don't think they can get rid of it, because let's face it, that's the beauty of decentralized. There's no server to shut down. Amazon Web Services can't just turn off a blockchain because it's stored everywhere. Every node, just, well, I'm not going to go into too much of those details, but getting back to the subject, I think this is very good. And the more we see people coming out and championing the true fundamentals of crypto, the more people learn about that, and the less it becomes that decision of, oh, is it a super risky investment? Is it, people say it's so volatile. But if more people, hear that, hey, it's financial freedom, it's you being able to send money to your kids or to your parents for next to nothing in the blink of an eye, rather than having to go to some bank or Western Union or MoneyGram, having to pay however much fees, and God forbid you got to send it out of the country to a different country and exchange currencies and do all that stuff. I mean, remittances, that's another big one, especially I hear from a lot of Hispanics who are sending money back home to Mexico or South America, Central America. And once they learn about this, they say, oh my gosh, like we could be doing this so much faster, so much easier, without having to deal with, going to Walmart and wait in line for an hour just to get the MoneyGram, just to, God forbid, mail it, or having to use like an app like Venmo or something, which obviously all of that is trace tracked and cataloged. And now they're trying to say that, I don't know if they're necessarily trying to do it yet, but I know I have heard, rumor of them trying to tax money that you send to a loved one or to somebody. And it's just, all that's getting out of hand. And, the last video was about all that. So I'm going to leave this video at that. Let me know what you guys think, regardless of where your political ideation lines up. Do you think this is good for Bitcoin, good for crypto, to have people like Tucker out there, championing it, really, and to a gigantic audience? So love you guys. Stay free, stay classy wherever you're at, and I will see you next time.